So, lads, today we're going to be talking about Sophie Cunningham, and under no circumstances can the Indiana Fever not protect Sophie Cunningham in this upcoming expansion draft. There is no circumstances where they can leave her unprotected. Because I think she's back in the Fever next year. I think what's going to happen in the expansion draft next year is we saw it last year. They only signed one unrestricted free agent. That was Mo Billings, who wasn't going to get a crazy contract anywhere else. But if hypothetically people are like, oh, they need to, they're going to be able to protect 6 players. We all know they're going to be protecting Lexi Hull, who's a restricted free agent, because if they leave Lexi unprotected and Lexi's taken, they can't guarantee to get her back. So we all know Lexi Hull's going to be protected. Kelsey Mitchell's going to be protected because she can be cored. Even though she's unrestricted, you don't want to give up a player that the other team is going to core. Caitlin Clark, Leah Boston, Michaela Timpson, and Natasha Howard is exempt because she's been cored twice. So she's exempt from being taken. And the reality is that a lot of people were saying it's really between Sophie and Ari for that last spot. And with that being said, in my opinion, you've got to keep Sophie Cunningham. First of all, let's be completely honest. Neither Portland or who even is the other one? Toronto. Neither Portland or Toronto are going to core Sophie Cunningham or Ari McDonald. That's not going to happen. So the reality is, if the Fever want both of them, they're probably both going to be back. And whether or not it is even protecting, the Fever need to keep Sophie Cunningham at all costs. The Fever need to keep Lexi Hull at all costs. The Fever, ideally, you keep Ari McDonald, but Ari McDonald is just Erica Wheeler 2.0. You can live without Ari McDonald, especially if you plan on Caitlin being healthy. If you think Caitlin's going to be this injury-prone mess for the rest of her career, like this season, which it's unlikely, but the Fever know more than we do. If that's what they believe, then 1, trade Caitlin while her value is high, and 2, keep Ari. If that's the case, go and do that. But honestly, we got to talk about how great Sophie Cunningham has been. What Sophie Cunningham did on Paige Bueckers the other day was ridiculous. Sophie did foul the shit out of her a lot of the time off the ball. But it got to the stage then where Paige was pulling a Caitlin on it, where Paige was there arm barring off. Not with the ball, but off the ball. She was there running in, and it's not a little bit of contact creates space. She was just shoving Sophie Cunningham. She was start grabbing Sophie back, and that took Paige out of her game in the second half. It really took Paige out of her game. And we saw it the first time the Fever played the Wings, that Ari was guarding Paige and Paige was hitting her on back doors. Paige had a really difficult 22 points. If it wasn't for the 2 absolute BS, the 5 BS free throws from Phantom Fouls, Paige has 17 points, has a tough 17 points. A real tough 17 points. And if you count the 2 misses on the Phantom Fouls, it's 17 points and 17 shots, which is absolutely what you want from Paige Bueckers. 17 points, 17 shots. And nothing easy. Not one easy bucket. And you want at the end of the game, everybody talking. If you're a defender, you want everybody talking about your matchups, tough shot making ability, because that means you play good defense. If you force them into tough shots, you play good defense, and that's what Sophie's done. And if you look how well Sophie's been playing recently, on the year, Sophie Cunningham is back up to nearly shooting 40% from 3. Nearly every shot she shoots is a 3-pointer. So, she shoots 1.7 2-pointers per game. She shoots 3.7 threes per game. And again, it's a little bit down from last year, but she's playing less minutes. And she's shooting half a shot less. But she's shooting 40% from 3. On her career, she is a 36.5% 3-point shooter. And if you take out the first 2 seasons of her career, where she was playing a little bit, but again, just as a young player. So if you take out the first 2 years of her career, and let's just go since her rookie deal. Since her rookie deal, she's been shooting near 40, and she's been a near 40% shooter since the first 2 seasons of her career. She had a season where she shot 23% from three, which is a bad shooting season. 30% as a rookie is not great. But other than that, 2023 is a bad season all around for Phoenix. 37.8% and 39.3%. She's like a near 40% shooter the last two seasons. And we've seen it as well if you look in at her game logs. She's been getting better and better. I think defensively, everyone's going to be like talking about Paige or a better defense, being like, is she this lockdown defender? It's like, she doesn't get that many steals. She kind of can get cooked. But I'm like, she's not good at the quick guards, but she doesn't bite on too many fakes. Yes, I know Zaza James got her, but she doesn't do that often, and she makes it tough for opponents. She makes opponents shoot tough shots. That's pretty much it. She makes opponents shoot tough shots. She's 29. She's got length. She's like versatile. She's a willing passer. If you're looking here again, she had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of 8 games where she scores double digits. She had a 16-10 game and a tough win against Atlanta. And then you can see here again, like, she was also huge in the Commissioner's Cup win with 13 points. And this was all after a really poor start to the year. Like, she had a poor start to the year and she's had some iffy games. But, like, she is starting to hit shots. And, like, her true shooting percentage, like, she's one of the most efficient guards in the league. Purely because nearly every shot she shoots is worth an extra point, and being a 40% three-point shooter, when all you do is shoot threes, you're going to have a very, very high true shooting percentage. But she's one of the more efficient guards in the league, and she's somebody that is a decent rebounder, can guard power forwards at a fine rate. She can guard point guards at a fine rate. Like, if you saw what she did to Chelsea Gray, she made her look every bit the point fraud that she is. Like, she absolutely locked down Chelsea Gray. I've seen her do a really good job on Alicia Gray. I didn't like, as much as Lexi Hull is the better defender, Sophie Cunningham is the better all-around basketball player of the two. And we're now looking at a situation where it's like, you've got these two players. If one of them's having a bad game, you put in the other one. You can play both of them together, as we saw in their win against Phoenix Mercury. The lineup that was killing it was Ari at the 1, no Kelsey Mitchell. And Steph White trusted Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull. And what Sophie Cunningham is somebody that is the 4th, 5th best player on your team, on your lineup. And there's a lot to be said for a player who is comfortable being the 5th option. There's a lot to be said for a player who can be a good when they're the 5th option. Like, we can all talk about certain players being like, oh, look, there's so many players that when they're not the first option, they stink. But, like, I think Sophie Cunningham would stink as a first option. I'll admit that. I think Sophie Cunningham would absolutely stink it up if she was the first option. I think if Sophie was the first option for the Indiana Fever, something would be seriously, seriously wrong. Seriously wrong. And the team would suck. There was lineups where she was kind of, I don't know, the Dantas first option lineup was so bad the last game. But she's a really solid defender. And that's another thing why, like, I think the likes of her and the likes of Lexi, just all energy. Sophie Cunningham is going to, I know she makes shots or she misses shots, but, like, you know she's not going to do that much dumb shit on the floor. She's a smart player. She plays within herself. She's not going to try to do anything crazy. She's going to make a lot of smart defensive reads. She's going to rebound the ball pretty well for her position. And she's just going to give you like a 6.57 out of 10. Like, she is a perfect role player. And someone that the Fever need to keep for next year. Because, again, let's not forget, it's also important to know who is ready and who's capable of playing with the extra pressure that comes for being a member of the Indiana Fever. And Sophie Cunningham, someone realistically who thrives in that pressure. Anyway, yeah, that's the video. I'll see you guys.